Welcome back to the Ciaran and Josh experience. I'm Josh McKenna.
My name is Ciaran Sanders.
And our guest today is
Joseph William Arundel.
welcome, Joseph.
So,
Such a smooth
Joseph.
voice compared to our co-host here.
Joseph, if that's your real name,
It's on my birth certificate.
do you have any idea why we called you down here?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's because I called Josh.
I would agree.
No. Nice try. No.
You've had a master plan?
Yes, Joey, since we went skiing yesterday, 2 days ago, pardon me, I have orchestrated, pulled the strings.
Ciaran, do you ski?
Yeah, I ski, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why? What is that even a joke?
Cairns the middle of the story.
Yeah,
Please
that's not even a
continue.
joke, though. Like, not even... There's no point. There's no witty reference.
Oh, Ciaran, can I get that with a little less salt? It's a little heavy on the salt
Just
here,
need
okay?
to be boofed
Okay.
on right now.
Sorry, I'm just... I didn't find that goof very gaffable.
Oh.
Yeah, but since we went skiing, it was actually me that orchestrated this whole thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. Yeah. I also, ladies and gentlemen, I am currently running behind schedule. I have a very, very busy life, and Josh is purposely putting me behind schedule. Joey and I show up. Well, first of all, we say 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is agreed upon by everybody to record this podcast. I get ready for 5, and then I get a text from Josh. 5:15? I said, yeah, of course. 5:15. What's 15 minutes? So I'm already 15 minutes behind schedule. And I was thinking 5:15, we get in, we are very efficient, we get everything set up and ready to record for Joey. But I show up at 5:15 with Joey, and Josh is in a towel
Yeah, but the thing is, I
and
don't know
nothing
where,
else.
Top-
I don't know
Upstairs.
where this guy gets this mindset from, because never once have we started like right away with a podcast. Like,
It's all because of you.
All right, so
well, yeah, it's because of me, because I plan the whole thing. I provide the venue. I set up the ambiance. I burn the incense.
I don't really want to take over here, but what do we got on schedule for today?
Oh, we got a couple good things.
First
got a
off,
couple
let's
good
hit intro. Also, congratulations, Josh. 15. It's number 15, episode 15.
Episode 15. Wow.
Yeah,
done.
Already.
who would have thought that we'd get this far?
Back when we were recording episode 1, I never envisioned myself here at episode 15.
No,
Wow.
never. Intro, how do we know Joey? Youth group, I guess. We went to the same youth group together.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Mhm.
I think
Was
we
in swim club with Maya.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
And she introduced you to our friend group.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
met Josh and
yeah.
then Ciaran.
Absolutely. Good times, good times. I went skiing with Joey, as I mentioned, 2 days ago. We almost died. Almost. We went into an out-of-bounds area, and later we found out there was like...
Joey snowboarding in a speedo. At
No,
this
I
point,
asked
or-
him. I asked him
okay.
to bring a Speedo, but he didn't. What'd you have to say about that, Joey?
Yeah. Once at Manning Park with the youth group, I wore a Speedo from the top of Manning Park down to the bottom. But since then, I've really upped the ante and I go naked.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That must burn.
So no Speedos necessary.
Yes. Wonderful.
I can imagine that your dignity isn't the only thing that shrinks.
It's cold.
Yeah, it was like minus. It was minuses definitely in Celsius, that's for sure. But we met a ski patrol guy afterwards. We were sitting on the chairlift, and I just friendly chairlift banter. I'm like leaning over and say, "So how's your day going?" It was you actually who initiated it, I believe.
I think that you started the conversation, but I was really adamant about
Yes.
asking him how he feels about out of bounds.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, Joey, you were like poking the bear there. I was 2 people away from him on the chair. Like he was at one end, I was at the other. Joey was right next to him, and oh my gosh, this man was probably the most disgruntled human being I've ever met in my life. He was, as soon as we got on the topic of going out of bounds, he was like, just look at our clientele here, right? I mean, really. People go, so look at this guy right here, points to this guy skiing in front of us, in an out of bounds area, not a good skier, not prepared. Yeah, but I'm not a police officer, so can't do anything. It was incredible.
So I feel like we should paint a slight picture here for what's going on here. We're sitting here. We're burning some red cedar incense. We've lit my brand new Texas Chainsaw Massacre candle, which I received for Christmas. Great film. And we're drinking a very nice bottle of rosé that Joey brought with him.
What is
Joey,
it called?
Please tell us a little bit about this bottle.
Behringer.
Yes, white Zinfandel.
I think it's Zinfandel.
Zinfandel. 1876. Left over from my family Christmas.
Really? 1876?
That's what it says in the bottle. Don't know what
Wow.
that means.
It's a
Established,
vintage
so-
1876.
1870,
Probably
over
made-
100 years old.
Now-
130 years old.
That's the company. I think this one is probably 2018.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Let's see if I can find
Wow,
it.
I
Yeah,
really missed the vote on that one.
I didn't spend enough on you guys.
Well, our last guest, Cameron Jeffries.
Yeah, Cam.
We were out at a party with him a couple nights ago, and he introduced me to this app called Vivino, which is an app for people who really enjoy wine, and it allows you to scan the label on your wine bottle, and you get reviews for it.
Wow.
And all the details
Really?
about it. So I'm gonna try it with this bottle. And
Yeah,
let's,
do it, please.
Let's see
Not
what
sponsored.
it says.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by any Behringer or any kind of sponsorship. If you have a company and you would like to sponsor us, please send us an email. We are now cleared by YouTube to get revenue from our
Oh,
podcast. Yeah, it only took like 4 or 5 months.
All right, look at that. So it's a 3.7 out of 5.
Let's not talk
are
about
the
that price.
from 188 ratings. It's from California. It's
California.
yes, it's a white Zinfandel, 2002. That might be. Oh, it says no. This one is actually a vintage 2016. I know, pretty decent. And the average price is $12.99. So yes, Joey did not spend enough on us.
No, that is you're paying way too much, man. Way too much for your wine.
$12.99 2 years ago. We got inflation.
But yes, it's got lots of helpful reviews on here, and I can share the wine with my friends, and people can connect with me on Vivino. So I would highly recommend that people get Vivino and connect with Josh McKenna on Vivino.
Have you gone and done any reviews?
I actually just made the account as we were speaking about it, so I could scan the bottle. Yes.
Okay.
My wine question of the day is: how comfortable were you when I was pouring it beside your laptop?
I was comfortable because I trust you, Joey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was not comfortable.
Really?
No,
Why?
I was scared.
Why?
I don't think laptops like wine.
To each their own, I guess.
Yeah.
But Joey, you currently live on Vancouver Island. I believe you're the first guest that. Oh no, we had Scott. He lives out there.
Yes,
Scott-
but only
Scott
for
Wilkinson.
school. I mean, but Joey, I didn't know that you lived on the island until about 10 minutes ago. So please tell
For
us
4
more.
months. You've lived there for 4 months, right?
Yeah, I went out to the island. 2 roommates that I know from here on the mainland, and we live in this basement suite, about a 10-minute walk from UVic.
Wow,
But
nice location.
I was attending UVic, but I dropped out last couple of weeks.
I also didn't know that you were attending UVic. Fascinating.
Yeah, you called me an intellectual 2 months ago.
It was so funny at your Christmas party, Josh. We were talking to Rebecca, and she was saying, just making small talk. Oh, so how are your classes, guys? How are exams? And I said, yeah, good. Yeah, it was fine. And then Joey said, awful. Oh, please, Joey, actually, you're the one. Take it away.
Not good.
Whoa,
Let's roll
why?
play. You can be Rebecca.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean, Joey? Why?
I stopped going.
Oh, but did you make it? Like, how did you do on your exams?
No, I was pleased I didn't go.
Oh, so did you pass your courses?
No, I didn't go to the exams.
Yeah, but there's still some courses that you can take,
Yeah.
and you can not take the exam, but you can still earn a percentage in the other work to pass the course.
Yeah, incomplete. I got incompletes in all my courses.
So what do you? Okay, Joey, if you have nothing to say about like your exams, then why are you here? And throughout this whole thing, I was baffled because I thought I didn't understand what she was getting at first. I thought she was just beating a dead horse because I understood that Joey did not go to. He dropped out of school. He didn't finish anything, right? And I was like, "Are you serious, Rebecca?" She's like, well, okay, if he's not going to contribute to the conversation, I don't know why he's even here saying things. And then I brought in Brett, another guy, and I said, Rebecca, I told him exactly, basically verbatim what I just said. And he just looks at Rebecca and he's like, are you serious? Like, are you actually joking? Oh my goodness. Shout out to Rebecca. What a lovely woman. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd like to. Sorry.
I was
please
just
go
going to
ahead.
say, what are your opinions of the island, Joey? What do you like about it?
Everyone that's spoken to me about the island knows about this. the parking lots are the worst in Canada as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
I could
Why?
never live near UVic because of these parking lots. There's not enough space to drive in any of them. There's giant. If you had a car that wasn't like, if you had a nice car that was low at all, you'd scrape on 30% of them. It's a nightmare. It makes me not want to drive to the store, but I also don't want to walk, and it's just a lose-lose situation.
That is a real shame.
What about you're probably one of the youngest people there. It's like a whole bunch of older people.
Well, very much university around UVic.
Oh, okay.
If you get away from the campus, yeah, there's old people, but the people are really nice, but the parking lots are just abysmal.
Really?
And it's kind of a weird thing to really for me to latch onto. Like, I hear myself when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
But for that reason alone, I couldn't live there.
But you're still living there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to live on my lease.
Yeah, fair. Oh, yeah. How long is your lease?
8 months. So
8 months. That's not too bad.
End of April.
Yeah.
And then you're going to move back to the mainland?
Yes.
All right. Wonderful.
Mainland is it's the way to go.
Yeah, honestly, I like the island, but it's just so hard to get to with BC ferries.
Yeah, I do enjoy the island too, but I feel like it's not a place that I would really want to live long term, you know?
No.
Well, like, I coach water polo, and it's a really nice community over there for water polo. They've got a masters sort of league, and it's the best I would say, in the province.
Really?
They got a decent turnout of like 12 to 18 people that come out, some new people, and it's really, really good environment.
So there's like 20 people involved?
Yeah, which is surprising because water polo is very...
It's like very
scarce.
niche. Yeah. I think like all water polo... I think you and another kid are the only two people I've ever listened to or even like interacted with.
I think 10 years ago
that
there was
played it.
one club in BC at a competitive level.
At a competitive... Apparently it's all like Hungarian. Hungarians are supposed to be really good at water polo.
There's this guy there, 15 years old, from Spain, and he's better than all of the 17, 18-year-olds from, like, he's a better player than anyone from British Columbia.
Why? What makes him better?
He's Spanish.
He's fit, at better water polo knowledge, better at throwing, better just across the board. He's better.
Wow.
And over in Europe, they're just, I don't know, they care about the sport, I guess.
Yeah. It's not a big... I mean, I don't know. It's just not a big thing here.
Well, I'd like to add something I forgot to add on the schedule, but I saw a film last night that I just thought was excellent.
Oh yeah, which one?
I went and saw Green Book last night.
With Mahershala Ali and Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, and it was really good. I went down to the Fifth Avenue Cinema.
Yeah, very classy
and
place.
I'd never been there before, and so it's a 19+ theater, and I had a glass of wine while I watched the movie, which paired very nicely with the popcorn I was eating. And
I can imagine.
Yes, it was great, and all around, it was just a really good movie. Like, 'cause sometimes I think a movie ends and you feel like a little bit unfulfilled, you know. But like the movie was just such a smooth. Right. Sorry, Joey just got up and walked to the end of the room to undo his water bottle.
Dude, that's the most obnoxious water bottle squeak I've ever listened to. Oh my god.
That's terrible. But, you know, I feel like just everything came full circle very nicely in the movie. It had great music. It had a great storyline. It was really nice that it was based on a true story as well. The acting was great. The chemistry between the leads was some of the best I've seen in a film. Yeah, it was really good. It managed to be funny while dealing with some heavy topics, just mainly based on that really good chemistry between the leads. And it sort of had a bit of an adventurous spirit to it because they were kind of traveling around the southern states.
Wow.
And it was
all
around.
An adventurous spirit.
It did, yeah. And all around it was just a really enjoyable movie. And I would highly recommend it to anyone.
Great book. Yeah, we're not sponsored by... who did it? New Line Cinema, I believe? Or
something like that.
Fox Searchlight, perhaps?
We'd love to be, though.
Mm-hmm. I'd be so dope to have, like, Mahershala Ali on the podcast.
He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, the Oscar winner guy who was in Moonlight. Yeah. I can see him. I can see him on the podcast. Same with Viggo Mortensen. Lord of the Rings. He played Aragorn.
And
or Aragorn. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen Moonlight yet. I'd
You
really
haven't
like
seen
to,
Moonlight?
No, but
And you call yourself an ally of the LGBTQ plus community.
Actually,
But,
if you have an Oscar, you're very welcome on
Yes,
our podcast.
But
anyone who has an Oscar, please come on our podcast.
my parents saw it, and they came and saw Green Book with me, and they thought that Mahershala Ali was actually better in Green Book than he was
Really?
in Moonlight.
Wow, he was incredible in Moonlight.
So yeah, I'll just toss that out there.
I can't believe you haven't seen it, man.
Yeah, I know. I've been meaning to see it for a while. I just haven't got around to it.
Great film. Joey, have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, on that note, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really say. Yeah, it's a good film. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like the best. I thought it was better than La La Land. Did you see that?
The only relevant film that I've seen in the past year and 3 years is Get Out.
Oh, really?
Oh, that is a good film. I wish that won Best Picture last year, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
No, man. Getting nominated, yeah, I would say get nominated, but it's not Best Picture.
I thought it was good.
I
Who won Best
enjoyed
Picture
it.
last year?
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water is a better film, man.
No, I think that
Have you
I
seen
saw
it?
both of them, and
Okay.
I thought Get Out was a better film. I thought it was more. It had more original material in it. I thought
Shape of Water was original.
It was, but it was very much a tribute to older Hollywood movies. While Get Out was more innovative, I found. I thought the acting was not necessarily better, but there were more impressive scenes of acting in Get Out, and I thought it managed to be very culturally relevant with all the material on race. So I thought Get Out was overall the better film.
Wow.
My comments on Get Out, the girl freaked me the hell out.
Yeah, she
When
was whack.
when she did her switch.
She
Yeah.
was whack.
Yeah.
But I lost immersion when he fell into the space, and it was just like this kind of like starry backdrop. I was
Was
like,
it the sunken place?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, the sunken
I
place.
was like, this looks. I was really in it, and now I feel like he's being suspended by cables in front of a green screen, and it didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was an interesting, shot the way they did it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good film, but I'd say Shape of Water was better.
To each their own.
Yeah, to each their own, eh?
But I'm looking forward to hearing the Oscar nominations this year, actually.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that Hereditary gets a couple nominations.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the? Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, please.
Have you seen the Golden Globe nominations?
I saw a couple of them. I didn't look at the whole list.
It's garbage.
Really?
It's actually so bad. Joey, I swear,
God.
it is probably the worst. It's baffling to me, absolutely baffling, why some of these films are best picture. Black Panther. Can you
I
believe
guess it's
that?
because superhero movies aren't super common with that. I get that it's out of all of the Marvel movies that have come out, it's the most relevant to socio-political issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I did think it was a very, very enjoyable film. I'm
Okay,
actually not
out of 10,
super
Out of 10, what would you give Black Panther?
Black Panther. Somewhere around 8 out of 10 or something like that. But that's keeping in mind what I was expecting from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was a superhero movie, so
I would say 7, like 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say it was I would say Shape of Water is like a 9.
But I also think that there's much worse movies that have gotten
Best
pretty
Picture
prestigious
nominations?
awards than
Which
Black
one?
Panther. For one, I thought that a couple years ago when Argo won Best Picture,
Oh yeah, that was a
it wasn't. That was just not. A very
no
impressive film
man.
at all.
Come on,
So-
Ben Affleck. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Good film, however, not Best Picture.
Or even when that one movie beat The Revenant for Best Picture, and I don't even remember what it was
Birdman.
anymore. No, it wasn't Birdman. It was a different movie that I don't think anybody remembers anymore. People still talk about The Revenant.
Spotlight.
No, it was. It had a longer title, but this proves my point. No one remembers it.
No, dude, I swear, it was Birdman.
No, I think
No, that
Birdman
was the year
a different
before.
year.
It was the year before. Here, look it up right now. I'm pretty sure The Revenant
What year was The Revenant?
2015.
All right, let's check it out. The Revenant 2015.
Yeah, dude.
And that came
Boom.
out.
What can I
did
say?
it come out at the? It was released on January 8th, 2016.
Just look up Oscars.
So was it a part of the 2016 nominations or the 2017. I think
I
2016.
don't know. Look it
Oscar
up.
2016 winners.
There you go. Best picture was...
Oh, it was Spotlight.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what that was.
The Spotlight? It was about the Boston. It was about the news story done by the Boston Globe, I think, about the sexual abuse in the Catholic Church.
But do we know if it was against Revenant?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was against Revenant, yes.
Yeah.
The
The Spotlight was the
it was
journalist.
about the priest.
Yeah.
However, I still think it should have gone to the Revenant. I feel like it was at least when I watched that ceremony, it felt like it was expected after they gave Best Actor to Leonardo DiCaprio
And Best
also
Director.
for the first time he actually
Received
got
an Oscar, yeah.
And then they were waiting to announce Best Picture, and The Revenant was nominated. And then when they said Spotlight, people were kind of like, "Oh,
What do you
golf
mean?
clap."
What?
You know,
Dude.
that's what I got from it.
Wow.
What can I say?
If we look one
Wow.
right, Inside Out won an award. Great movie.
Inside Out? Oh my gosh.
Best
I
animated
cried.
feature. I haven't seen
I
it.
bawled.
It was.
When, spoiler alert everybody, when Bing Bong died?
What? I haven't seen it.
Who cares, man? It's been too long.
Am I gonna
It's been
bleep this out? I mean,
No.
too many years.
In too many years, man. I'm sorry. You need to pick it up. But like, when he was, I thought that was masterfully done. Masterfully done.
I thought the characters were simple and really heart pulling.
Mm-hmm.
It was straightforward and it just got me.
And I think the message of it, you don't always have to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can be sad. You can be fine. The message of it, I thought, was communicated brilliantly to a young audience, and the voice work was extremely well done by everyone involved.
The animation was great too.
Yes,
It looked very pretty.
Oh man, we went on this big tangent about movies.
Yeah.
That's fine.
but I would really like to see Hereditary get nominations for
Yes,
Best Picture this year.
yes,
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
I think it was a fantastic film.
I would say one of the best films I've seen all
in a
year.
long time. Oh yeah,
I
think-
can't even believe that it was this year. It was just the summer.
yeah, I know. But I mean, the only other horror movies that have ever won awards, and now as of last year, one more, are The Exorcist, The Silence of the Lambs, and Get Out. And I think that Hereditary has a spot amongst those films.
I think that Hereditary is better than Get Out. I think that as far as like scary, like intense filmmaking, it's one of the best.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
I'd say it borders The Exorcist.
Well, everyone was saying, all the critics were saying, it's this generation's The Exorcist.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Have you seen that, Joey?
Well, then I'm happy to not have seen it.
You're not a fan?
Too scary.
Fair enough. Josh, you want to hit us with a weekly?
Yeah, I'll hit you with the weekly. All right, here's my. That's not my first one. Here's my first one. Japanese man marries computer-generated hologram in $18,000 wedding ceremony.
Really?
Yeah. So a 35-year-old man in Japan married a computer-generated singing software that resembles a 16-year-old anime pop star named Hatsune Miku in an $18,000 wedding ceremony with nearly 40 guests.
40 guests and
Wow.
spent 18 grand?
Pretty exclusive.
Really?
that
No, it was
you
exclusive.
don't-
I mean,
if you don't-
everybody wanted to be at this thing, right?
If you don't spend 18 grand, you're getting nobody to your robot
40
wedding.
guests?
This is a robot wedding.
seems like you're just very. Sorry, yawned.
That
I just
wasn't
feel like-
words.
I feel like he just mismanaged his money so poorly. $18,000 for 40 people for a wedding?
I think it's the opposite.
And
I think that if
he
you
doesn't
did
even need to buy her a
anything-
wedding dress.
Anything.
Which
yeah.
I feel like is
a lot of
large
the big
expense
expenses, he can just,
No, he wouldn't have guests if he wasn't offering them good food. And
True.
drink.
But
That's my
$18,000? I don't know, man. For 40 people, give me like $1,000, and I'd give a better wedding than this guy. Oh, I can. I think I told Joey at the Christmas party, but I can now say weddings.
Yes.
Yeah, I did it online.
It's interesting note that they mentioned that it resembles a 16-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's
there's
pretty
a
odd.
lot
I
of
don't
stuff
know.
to be explored there.
Yes.
I know that I recently played Breath of the Wild with
Breath-
Zelda.
Oh yeah. Wasn't it Breath of the Wind or something?
Not sure.
Okay.
But there's this one girl who, she's like 100 years old, but she did some like experiment that makes her tiny and like this like child. But she is still 130 years old.
That is so creepy.
It's like there's lines to be talked about because some people are going to be interested in that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And you have like those, you sometimes hear girls that like online, mostly on the internet, that will talk like super high pitched and soft voices, and it sounds fake. And they sound kind of childish.
You mean like Twitch streamers?
Yeah. But some of them I think legitimately talk like that. I don't know if it's like trained or honest, but I think that there's a lot to be said about seemingly 16-year-old people who aren't 16.
Yeah. Japan is a huge thing about that because everyone's obsessed with like youth.
Lolly.
You know?
Is
Very
lolly.
interesting.
Like people, 35-year-old men will read comic books like 16-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
It's all even the way that women dress and the way that men dress. It's all like tailored towards a young youth, which I mean, like it's the same with most cultures, but like they don't wear like a dignified suit. Like it's more like streetwear, I guess.
But anyways, back to this story. I mean, it says he was convinced at a young age that he would never find a partner or marry until he discovered Hatsune Miku singing on the internet.
Oh man,
and this is where it gets really weird. So, well, first of all, 39 friends and relatives attended, but his parents refused. And
good for them.
The ceremony included the customary exchange of wedding rings. His wife's ring was placed on the finger of a stuffed doll shaped in her image.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Now
Really
that
weird.
is magic.
How do you think their relationship works?
Really well.
I would say it's pretty well.
I would say it's efficient.
Do you think he
Extremely.
can actually interact with her, or does she just...
I mean, you've seen like...
Does he just watch videos of her,
seen
and
the-
that's his date night?
the guy that's like in love with his car on one of those TV shows, and he like touches it and like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it's just as
This
bizarre as
this
that.
is her though. You know that movie with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Where he's
Except
the guy...
that one's at least more intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see what Hatsune Miku looks like.
Hatsune Miku?
Oh,
she's cute.
Oh, she's an anime character?
She's an animated singing character.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an actual human. I thought it like Hatsune
no.
Miku was like a 16-year-old pop
No,
star,
no.
and he was a hologram of her.
Oh, here's the guy. Oh, the doll is not even life size. The doll is
The doll is
the size of about 2 of his hands.
It's a foot tall. The doll
Not
is
even.
not even a foot tall. And he put a ring on that thing's finger? Wow.
Oh, not as.
Oh no, it doesn't have fingers.
It's
He
a
just put it on the
stub.
nub that's supposed to be its hand.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Dude.
Ooh.
At least he dressed up though. He dressed up in a suit. That's pretty nice.
She didn't. Oh, she has a tie on actually. So
She has a tie
Yeah.
on.
Got a little tie clip too.
Oh wow. There's
Tie's
a
common-
lot
wait, no,
of
that's commonplace. That's her everyday wear.
Yeah, it seems in all the photos that she has. I'm surprised that there's this much artwork, like fan done artwork.
yeah, this is where it becomes actually her, because how many other people do you think are gonna marry her?
Yeah.
How many other people is she dating right now?
I think it's sad though. I
Yeah.
think that sucks for that dude.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
odd. It's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Just another example of why Japanese birth rate's going down in Japan. This is one of the reasons why people are marrying freaking cartoon
That's
characters.
one less kid. We gotta get that
Yeah.
in China.
Yeah, people are marrying cartoon characters. Yeah, the Chinese government, if they want to curb population and like
Just make
like,
yourself
yeah.
more like Japan.
exactly, you just gotta make sure that people marry cartoon characters.
They just have holographic kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, I got another one for you.
Okay, hit me with it, man. That
Round-
was pretty good. You set the bar pretty high. I enjoyed that story.
Round 2, baby.
Belgian robbers asked to come back and arrested on their return. A gang of robbers walk into a shop. The owner asks them to come back later when he has more money. And when they do, the police...
Oh man.
Wow.
I thought when you said that at first, I thought they maybe forgot something, or maybe they were cleaning up their tracks or something like that.
Yeah.
But they actually legitimately came back
Yeah.
when they were
That was a good title.
later when they
Yeah.
to get some more money. Wow.
But get this, it's an e-cigarette shop.
Oh
Man, what do you expect from a couple vapors? You know?
Rep the niche. Rep the niche.
Wow. Yeah, when you said that title, I went to the craziest thing, and the craziest thing is actually what happened.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, "What?" The owner of the store was like, "Hey, come back."
Yeah.
And then they did, and that's exactly what happened.
Man, I'm surprised that people. Well, no, I'm not surprised. Vapors, yeah. Put a pin in that one. What are your thoughts on vaping, Joey?
I think that to vape when people are vaping with nicotine, it's like beyond a conscious choice. Like I can see when people are getting hooked to cigarettes as kids, there's peer pressure and they start doing it, and it's like, I don't know, they get addicted somehow. But when you're vaping with nicotine, you get this head rush. You can get a head rush standing up.
Fat heady. Yeah, remember the phosphine, Josh?
And it seems unnecessary.
Yeah, you had some intense phosphines.
Just hold your breath and then stand up. You'll
Yeah,
get a headache.
yeah.
You'll get a fat heady. Like,
I remember Josh, we were like, this is early in his psychedelic phase, back before he was listening to like psychedelic rock and all this stuff. He, for the record, Josh has never taken a hallucinogenic drug in his life.
No.
But he would tell me, like, dude, I had this most intense phosphine. I'm like, oh, what's a phosphine? It's like, oh, it's when you like have, you see kind of like stars.
You see lights with no source.
Yeah.
Light, there's no source of light, but you see the lights.
okay.
I'm like, oh, so when you like see stars, like you stand up really quick or something like that? And he's like, no. I'm like, that's really, what you're describing is what I have on a daily basis when I get up from my bed after lying down, or when I am running really fast and I stop running, or I'm working out and I, exerting myself physically. Yeah. You were extremely proud of that, though, Josh. You were because you were loving phosphine.
I had this album called Phosphine Dream by the Black Angels.
Yeah.
And one day, I just turned my head a weird way. Suddenly I'm seeing phosphines.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Yeah, because your brain's getting deprived of oxygen.
I think that I think that vape tricks are really cool.
Yeah, vape tricks are cool.
But I think that the problem is that, like, the ego that comes with it. If someone knows how to juggle, they're not normally running around screaming, "I know how to juggle," and showing you and like taking it as like personal pride.
Yeah.
But when you have people that are vaping, they're like, "No, I vape.
Watch
what I can do."
For me,
you will be impressed.
The tricks are cool for about 5 seconds, and then it's just cringe.
Yeah, it's a bit of a cringe fest. Especially when, I don't know, maybe it's because it's so simple. It's so rudimentary a device.
When you start to realize that they're just playing with air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I stand by it being really cool, but it's not something you can impress someone with for more than, like 30 seconds. You got a couple of tricks. But it's when it's mostly young people, like dudes in high school that are 16 and they're trying to find some way to be cool. But it's not cool. It's not that cool.
You're sucking water vapor into your lungs. It's like, plus a couple of chemicals will probably kill you in a couple of years. So,
in Ireland, when I was there a couple of years ago, apparently there was actually so many vape shops, and this is before it was kind of like a big thing in Vancouver.
Really?
And there were so many adults doing it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good market. Like, the Juul, they messed up with their marketing.
They did.
To kids.
They did.
But the idea of, like, getting adult smokers to not smoke is probably for the best.
Yeah. But then, it remains to be seen how, if it's actually, like, beneficial. I would say for heavy smokers, vaping or juuling is probably a better option. But even then, it's like, I don't know.
Pack a day or a...
It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
I guess that's the thing, though, because there wasn't previously a whole lot of studies about vaping, but I guess there's more coming out now where a lot of the vape juices and stuff, like the chemicals in it, are not only as bad but sometimes worse for you than smoking a cigarette.
Oh my god, when I was at my job, I worked in this warehouse, Vancouver E-Fasteners, and there's this drawer at the desk, and you opened it and there's this vape, but it wasn't like a vape that I'd ever seen before, and it had like a bunch of little bottles. It was ordered online, and it was this old school vape in it. the coil. So like the piece in the middle that heats up had 4 little stringy pieces of string coming out the side of it.
Stringy pieces of string.
Which is normally like cotton inside the coil, but they all looked like plasticky string. Like it was almost like a cheap shoelace or something.
Oh, okay.
And that looked like it would kill you. Like it looked like if you were vaping out of that primitive vape, like you were just
primitive.
You were like
archaeologists,
Like you're just like
digging on a site, have found a 2,000-year-old vape.
You were like sucking plastic though, and like probably were like just as bad as smoking cigarettes. But especially, I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is bad.
Were people using it?
No, I don't think it was touched. I think there was
Well,
someone
no,
who
Ciaran,
worked there.
it was an ancient vape.
Oh, an ancient.
It was used by the ancient Egyptians. Actually.
Early man. Yeah, King Tut got buried with his vape right next to him, right?
And King Tut, forced the entire population of Egypt to watch him perform vape tricks for an hour.
That's why the Israelites left. They just couldn't deal with it anymore. It's like, dude, just freaking stop. It's enough. It's enough.
When the Jews are escaping Pharaoh, and he's like,
He's like, dude, where are you guys going? I'm not done yet. I gotta show you my build.
like all of his mistreatment that's like recorded in like the Old Testament and stuff of the Jews was like actually just a metaphor for his
Vaping.
him just forcing them to watch him do vape tricks for hours.
Yeah.
That's why the pyramids was just the tallest place you could vape off of.
Yes.
Into the sky. Vape to the gods.
Vape to the gods.
He had a vape trick called parting the Red Sea, where he would just part
He'd part the vape.
the vape cloud. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Do you have that second news story? Are we gonna?
That's it for me actually. But I do have something interesting that I want to know if you guys have seen yet. Did you guys see the video that Kevin Spacey posted on Christmas Eve?
Yes, I did see that. I did.
Joey, have you seen that?
No.
Would you like to see it? Should we watch it here on the podcast?
Yeah, we should.
I mean, you're hyping
Okay.
it up a little bit.
So, as
do you watch
know,
House of Cards?
No.
No.
Actually, today I watched a YouTuber do something about Kevin Spacey, and I thought that I don't know Kevin Spacey at all. What his
He's the actor who got incredible actor, but he was apparently alleged like all this underage
bad
things.
got me too'd.
Yeah, not good things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he's pretty much, his whole career has ended due to decades of
Yeah,
Yeah, fair enough then.
abuse, assaults,
harassment.
Wow.
And
general not merriment.
oh man, is his video taken down now?
No, it was posted on his Instagram.
No, it's posted on his official YouTube channel.
Oh, really? I think
Yeah.
he posted it on Instagram. That's how I saw it because I still follow him on Instagram.
Have you been on Instagram on your computer before?
I have.
It is an
Yeah.
interesting experience.
Yes, it is so strange.
Nowhere near as intuitive as the phone.
And Instagram recently did that thing. Did you guys do the Instagram update? Did you use Instagram with a weird
No.
scrolling? It was taken down before I even had a chance to like.
Oh, it was just bad.
It was just that bad. Yeah.
Oh no, I found it. Okay.
Let me be frank. Whoa.
So his character's name in House of Cards is Frank Underwood, and he's talking in Frank Underwood's accent in this video.
I think I saw someone talking about this.
So yeah, just check it out. It's super weird, and it's like he's talking in
Character. He's in character.
He's in character, but what he's saying is vague enough where it's like, oh, is
Did you
he
say vague?
vague enough?
It's vague.
It's
You can
vag
say it
enough.
either way.
It's vague.
I said vague.
I said vague.
All right, let's
No,
play
I
the
said-
video.
I'm just stretching out my vowels. They said it's what he's saying is vague enough that it could be that it could be talking
comment.
about
No comment.
House of Cards and how he was fired from the show and the last season was terrible,
Or it could be about children.
or it could be about him losing his career.
Yeah.
And they killed him off the show and all this. But check this out, Joey. It's super creepy.
And it's on Christmas Eve too.
Posted it on Christmas Eve. He's wearing a little Santa Claus apron.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. And after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't. So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed everything and had just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy? If it was all so simple. Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Did you? No, not you. You're smarter than that. Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending. And to think it could have been such a memorable send-off. I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said, not of what we did, and we're still not afraid. Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do. Well, of course, they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did, and you loved it. Anyhow, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good. And my confidence grows each day that soon enough you will know the full truth. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die, did you? Conclusions can be so deceiving. Miss me?
It's the weird, like, iMovie.
Yeah,
like
you can tell he's
ending.
made it on iMovie. Even the title card at the beginning.
So, I think that when we're talking about this kind of stuff and people are like getting put under the microscope for me too, I think that like watching that, I want to laugh and be like, this is some crazy stuff, because it just looked like a meme to me. I
thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was a joke. when
And
I
it's
first
like,
saw it.
I know, I guess there's a lot of lawyers involved and very particular stuff, but it doesn't portray him in my eyes as honest or straightforward. And it's like, if you did those things, it's bad and you should be punished for it. Like, what's he doing?
I know.
Because I think what he's trying to do is he play in House of Cards. He plays like an anti-hero, right? It's like you love him because he's like so terrible, sort of thing. Like he's a bad guy, but you just love it. It's sort of like a Breaking Bad sort of deal. You know, all these shows with the anti-hero. And I feel like he's trying to put that spin on himself. Like, oh, you love me even though I do all this terrible stuff. But it's like...
It's messed up.
It's messed up, yeah. And I can't imagine that that's going to help his case because he's in court right now.
Yeah. This was released right after the charges were filed.
And I'm just looking now. As of a few hours ago, today actually, the paparazzi found out where he's been living this whole time because he hasn't really, appeared anywhere recently. And he came outside and delivered pizza to the paparazzi wearing a hat that said retired since 2017. He's trying to blow it off like he chose to just like retire or something like that. Even though he actually was in a movie a couple months ago called Billionaire Boys Club, which was released after everything went down, which... after that, it didn't go to as many theaters. It opened only in a few theaters across the states on opening weekend and made less than $10. Or, sorry, less than $100 and made like $50 on opening weekend. So, yeah, his career is way downhill now.
Did he film that by himself though? Like I'm
No,
I'm
there
wondering-
were other people in it. Like there was what's her name?
No, I mean I'm not talking about the Billionaire Boys clip. I'm talking about
Oh.
the clip. Like, did he
Yeah,
film that?
and,
Like, because someone's operating the camera, someone's operating the mic, someone's.
And, like, who
yeah, I
wrote
guess he
it?
still
Like,
got you know,
he's got money.
family, or he could hire someone, but it looks like he edited it himself because it's
Well,
not
okay.
professional editing by any
Editing,
means.
like, what editing
Added
was
a
in
title
that shot?
card on and a little bit of music at the end.
Yeah, like that music was the most cliche music
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, it's stock for
Yeah.
use music. Yeah.
Never mind, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Kevin Spacey. Me Too. Not. I'm just trying to spitball words.
yeah,
here.
when I was watching that, it made me think of being in high school and being in drama, like Drama 9.
Yeah.
And, like, having someone perform a monologue. So I wonder if there's writer credits on that YouTube
Yeah.
video. Because, like, I'm sure he's a great actor, but I was like, this looks just overly dramatic and extra.
Yeah.
because he's doing it like his character, right? But it's just weird, man. Like people talked about how he had this whole dark side to him after all the allegations came out and stuff like that, but I could never really see that in him because he seemed like such a level-headed guy when I'd actually seen interviews with him. But now this is just like,
man, you never know.
like destroyed his reputation.
There's apparently closed doors
from
in
what I've
Hollywood
seen.
everywhere.
You know, so it's just weird, man. It's just really weird.
Well, he's not sound, I think.
Oh yeah,
Like, the general consensus, he's not sound.
yeah. No, even his brother came out against him and was like, "Yeah, he's a
Oh, yeah, I
just a
remember that.
freaking lunatic." So
Yeah. The Needs concert. Josh and I went to this.
Yes.
Did I tell you about the concert?
No.
No, we went to this concert at the Astoria. It's like downtown East Side, like not a nice part of town.
Okay.
For this band called Needs.
but I had to like force Ciaran.
Yeah, I didn't want to go at all. Josh paid for my ticket. Like I did not want to go to this concert at all. And
I
we were
can
driving
imagine.
out.
Yeah, it was a lot like Ciaran being like, "I'm just not in the mood for a punk concert tonight." And
Yeah, no, I
the
didn't want to go.
Astoria, I don't want to go
I
there.
I like to think of Josh says, "Hey, concert on the downtown East Side. You want a bus there?"
Yeah.
no,
Wow.
drove.
Yeah, I drove, and it was like late at night, and I was just tired, and I didn't want to go. But we ended up going, and it was honestly incredible. Probably one of the
Really?
best. I would say best live show that I've seen this year.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean, man,
say.
I told you, and you know,
It was there's a band on before, and it was just a collection of people that were friends.
You guys are talking
and
about Contact.
one of the guys.
No.
was actually, yeah,
Oh my God, Contact.
one of the guys in the band before it was actually Russian Tim, who hosts a lot of these punk events
Yeah, so it
around
was,
Vancouver.
I think it was
Yeah.
just friends that were just like jamming together. They were playing this. Do you know the songs? All the things you said, running through my head. That
No.
like Russian punk
No,
pop,
no, I don't.
pop punk band from like 2000. Never mind.
But
They're
they
playing
did
a song.
they did Rao Rao Rasputin.
Yeah, they're doing all these joke songs basically.
But
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
like punk versions of them, which was
Mhm.
kind of funny. So yeah,
And then the actual band came on, Needs, and they were setting up. They looked like normal people. Everyone was, just normally. There's nothing out of the ordinary about these people. And they start going, and the lead singer. Well, first off, they said they were gonna throw shirts out. They were gonna release
and
merch.
old merch and stuff.
Because
Yeah.
it was close to Christmas, so they're like, "Oh, on Facebook,
We've got
this."
It was a
Yeah.
Christmas show. It was like Christmas punk double rager, 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And so they said, "Oh, yeah, well, we're gonna bring a whole bunch of like our old merch, and then just throw it out because we're no longer a part of these bands anymore,
It's
or
like
whatever."
Santa Sean's gonna be throwing them out of a sack at you.
Yeah, and
Be
so
close to the front. Yeah.
yeah, but explain the story about the banana at the first Needs show you went to.
Oh, that was
What?
not the first.
Sorry.
I've seen Needs like maybe 5 times now or something like that. But the last time I saw them before this, I saw them at the Rickshaw, and Sean had posted on their Facebook page because they were opening for another band. He said, "Oh, come out to the Rickshaw Theater tonight, and throw some stuff at me and make me feel like I'm not just performing to like 8 people at the Rickshaw." And so I responded to the post. I was like, "Sean, what do you want thrown at you, man?" And he was like, "In this order: a banana, a cat toy, or money." So one of my friends and I would go out and we buy bananas before the show, and we go in, and I have this great video of us hucking the bananas at Sean halfway through their set and in the middle of a song. and he picks the banana up, and he first shoves it in his pants, and then punches the banana into his crotch.
I know.
Then pulls the banana out, starts to eat it, and then pulls his shirt up and rubs it all over his body
While he's
then,
performing, like while he's singing.
and then undoes his pants and then starts rubbing it all over his underwear too, and then to top it all off, takes what's left of the banana and throws it back at me, and it just explodes all over my shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I go up to him afterwards. I was like, "Oh, that was a great show, man." He's like, "Oh yeah, thanks for the banana, man." So I think part of the thing that actually sold Ciaran about going to this show is I was like, "Dude, just go get some fruit and you can throw it at him."
I'm like, yeah, okay, I got some mandarin oranges on me. I'll huck it at him.
Wow.
Yeah. And we go to the show.
Just to squeeze him in his eyes.
No, I kind of hucked like 1 or 2. I had 3.
Did you actually take mandarin oranges?
I did, yeah. I had 3 with me. I hucked 2 on the stage. He kind of just like hucked them back. There wasn't anything really, inventive going on. But later in the set, he like jumped into the crowd and was like rolling, like, just thrashing around and moving and singing. And he bumps into me, so his back is towards my front. I take my last mandarin orange out, and at this point, he's ripped off his shirt.
Yeah.
And I stick it on his chest around.
Yeah.
And then he puts his hand on top of my hand, and at the same time, we just squeeze the orange, and it goes all over his chest. All this orange, like it's right, it goes all over his chest, runs down into his pants, and his pants are soaked with orange juice.
Yeah.
And the sack that he had that was full of merch was actually full of garbage.
Like broken cassette tapes and like empty boxes that are wrapped. And stuff.
Yeah,
like
it just like trash.
Yeah.
Wrapping paper, paper towel. He threw out sunglasses. I got the pair of sunglasses.
Nice.
Threw out like hats and stuff like that.
I actually have the broken cassette tape that I got just sitting right up there. Oh, it's under that flag, but
Yeah.
never mind.
He ran into the audience, grabbed the sack after he was done throwing stuff out, and there's still like stuff in it. He starts bashing it on the frickin' like stage, and he's like just bashing it, and throwing crap everywhere.
Yeah, like Hulk, just
yes.
He's
yes.
like hucking it out. He's like, "You guys don't deserve this. You don't deserve it. I'm too good to you guys."
wow.
And then he's like, he takes the sack and wears it like a hat, and he keeps singing, and people were pouring beer on him and stuff like that, and throwing him around, and it was insane.
I mean, the guy just destroys his body at every show. Like, but
he almost broke his. He's
wild.
like, he hit his hand on something. He's like, I think I broke my hand
again.
Oh, it really hurts.
But when I saw him perform at his album release show, which he was really hyped for, he just kept being like, "This is the best night of my life," and people are like actually picking him up, putting them above their heads, and like multiple people pick him up at the same time and throwing him on the ground while he's still performing and stuff. Like, it's just absolute insane. Like, Sean ended up on the ground a couple times during the show that we saw him at. People are like running over and like kicking him and stuff,
Yeah.
But he's just a normal guy when he's not performing. It's so weird. Like, before the set, he comes up and he waves, says, "Hey." I was like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And then gets on stage, and then he's got a couple baby oranges, and he hucks them at me, and then just goes absolutely insane. Like, we're talking like takes a running jump off the stage, grabs me and throws me, plows me into the crowd behind us, like, sort of thing. Like, he's just wild.
Yeah.
But if you ever got the chance to see him, like, take it. Oh,
That's crazy.
So good.
At one point, towards the end of the set, so the floor is like covered in trash, and then the people who own the Astoria are like obviously pissed. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll clean it up. It's fine. I'll clean up. It's okay. I'll clean up. It's fine." And they're like, "Okay, man. All right, fine." In the middle of the song, like, people are playing, and then they're like, the band is playing, and he's like saying, "Oh, it's fine. I'll clean up afterwards, man. Don't worry about it." He would jump onto the ground, and it's like a thin pool of like sweat, beer, water, garbage, like it's
Coke, because somebody threw a Coke can at him, and then he threw it back out, and then I threw it, and then the whole can of Coke all over the floor, right?
So he's rolling around on the ground covered in trash and water and like liquid, and scooping everything like as much as he can get, rubbing it all over his chest and sticking it into his pants.
This sounds primal.
It was
it's absolutely
extremely
primal. Like, just something
Animalistic.
comes over him. It's
Wow.
see
Extremely
it, man.
animalistic.
So it's an experience.
I would, dude. I'm not a huge punk guy, but I was vibing.
Wow.
like, man, it's a
He gets you
wild
in the
live
mood.
performance.
Huh?
Yeah,
You know,
And
so
they make some really great music too, I think.
the last concert I saw was Harry Styles, and he had a little wardrobe malfunction. We saw one of his regular nipples.
no. Oh, was that the Sign of the
unfortunate.
Times thing?
Yeah. I got a free ticket, so I was
Oh,
not
yeah,
turning that
dude.
down.
Yeah, that's like the time we got free tickets to Gwen Stefani. We saw
Oh,
Gwen
yeah.
Stefani for free. Yeah,
Free concerts are the best.
solid.
Your expectations
Great.
are so low because
Oh,
you didn't pay, and you just
so
go
low.
and you go and enjoy it.
Yeah,
I mean, Gwen Stefani had some kind of like reggae stuff, and I was actually impressed. So, yeah.
I forgot a lot of. She would sing a song. I'm like, I love this song. You know, she
You're like,
was singing.
oh, wait,
Yeah.
wait, she did this?
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
What?
I know this song. Yeah,
Yeah. Harry Styles was great. He came out and said, "Thanks, you guys, for coming. I know that I only have 10 songs. And you guys still came out." I was like,
Yeah.
"That's great." Literally one album from him. He did a little One Direction, but he's got one album.
He did One Direction. At his
little
concert?
bit, yeah.
Not too much.
But I mean,
That's fucking
if I
hilarious.
scroll back on my Snapchat memories, I just have like from the Gwen Stefani show, I just have like tons of videos saved of just Ciaran and I like at the concert, and then being like, "Wait, I know this song.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I know that. Yeah, oh wow, like just like
Yeah. It was wild. So do you want to hit next thing we have written down is favorite albums of the year. Josh wanted to put this on the
I
podcast.
guess it is the 30th today.
Yes,
Yeah,
the 30th.
tomorrow's New Year's Eve.
We really can say the
This
year.
is the last
Yeah.
podcast of 2018,
Oh, man.
the year in which we started the podcast.
Wow. That's crazy.
Many
eh?
good
Quite
years
a
to
wild
come.
year.
Yeah, many, hopefully.
But I just want to declare that this is the definitive favorite album of the year from each of us.
Favorite
and
album?
We will be
Okay, I'll
taking
cross
it
it off,
to the grave.
Cross off the S on the end. It's not plural. Album.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah.
This is on our gravestones. For
Or do you want to
2018.
do multiple? Do you want to do
No,
top
just
three?
do one,
Just
man.
do one.
I don't
Okay.
even want to get you started on
Ooh.
albums.
Because I wrote like a friggin' essay
I know.
about my top 10.
So we got number 1 coming up.
Which actually, one of the bands that was on my list saw my post and said thanks and liked my
Oh,
post,
nice.
and I was happy about that. So yeah,
All right, how we
Joey, please go first. You're our guest.
album of the year goes to Kanye West for Yay.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
Yay?
yeah. I think that there's
Better than Kids See Ghosts?
you know, they're both on heavy rotation,
Mm-hmm.
but Kanye West in Yay expresses himself like Kanye West. I went back and listened to Yeezus, and I was amazed. And when I listen to Yay, there's this one line that I think is so funny. It's 1 + 1 is 2, but you and me, that's infinity.
Wow.
And it's like, you don't, that's not something you hear when you're listening to Kanye West.
No.
And he's like humbling himself before his wife. And I'm just so thoroughly impressed that he's
That's shocking to
expressing this
actually
kind
hear
of
he's
stuff.
humbled himself before anyone.
Exactly. He's like, he's like, this one is out to all of the girls that go and stay with guys that do dumb things. And it's clearly he's saying that he's
Yeah, he's
pretty crazy, and
yeah.
his wife will support him and see him through it. And that's everything I aspire to have in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And Kanye's out here saying it on top of some great beats.
Yeah, his
And,
production, I will say, regardless of whatever he says, his production is off the charts.
That is my album of the year.
What do you think of Kanye's antics in the past couple months?
Oh my
He's been
word.
a bit of a lunatic.
I think that Kanye West and Donald Trump is incredible. I think that it's not nowhere near an endorsement of Donald Trump. I think that when Kanye West says that he doesn't know anything about politics, he is being thoroughly honest. And he met Donald Trump face to face, spoke with him, and liked him. And that's the beginning and end of it. And I don't think that he deserves too much flack for that. I mean, you can say that there's a lot of people that would meet Donald Trump and very much dislike him based on his personality, but Kanye West liked him, and sometimes it's over the top when he's talking about love everybody and stuff, and you can't tell how genuine that is, but I don't think there's any ill will there. And Donald Trump is still a person and the president, and Kanye West likes him. And so all the power to him.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at like there's laws that are being proposed about like limiting campaign spending, like of what like you can donate to a political candidate. And there's two brothers who are absolutely filthy rich, and they've donated billions to the Republican Party every year.
Yeah.
Just because they're Republican, and they've been extremely successful. And that's a major argument for people who say like, oh, they're like, just because I'm a successful person doesn't mean that my right to support a political candidate for something that I believe in should be limited.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing with Donald Trump is he also did a lot of his own money. Like I think that if anything, you can say that Donald Trump didn't pander to, like, he's been, my understanding, he's been fairly consistent throughout. He's been the absolutely crazy, politically correct to a fault, politically incorrect to a fault.
Yeah, there you go.
Donald Trump. Since he's been in office.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would say that the one thing that I would support actually limiting funding or how much you can donate to a political party for is you get situations like with the NRA, which has such huge sway over the Republican Party because of all the money they donate, right? Like, in this day and age, you cannot be Republican and support common sense gun laws really in any way.
Josh, you're getting me riled up here.
Without causing a whole ton of controversy because of how much money the NRA gives the Republican Party.
I've been fed a lot of conservative news about gun laws. Common sense gun laws is a trigger phrase for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I'm not actually that upset, but I think that a lot of the time when it's said, it's not... The intention isn't actually what's being... Like, there's a good intention behind it when people say it, but the idea of common sense gun laws, I think, is a lot more complex than people would argue for.
In what way?
Could you give me an example? Anybody?
Common sense gun laws, not having not having concealed guns.
Not allowing people to buy semi-automatic weapons.
Semi-automatic weapons are fine.
Are we familiar with what semi-automatic means? Ciaran, sounds
I
like
know.
you are familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
I'm curious for
Or
Josh.
at least having a...
automatic weapons, I would say, are like military grade automatic weapons. I would say I don't think a private citizen should have.
I think semi-automatic is okay in certain situations, like with...
No, like the definition of it. Like, what makes it semi-automatic?
Semi-automatic is you pull the trigger, one bullet comes out.
Yeah.
That's
Automatic is you hold the trigger down.
And like a sort of like a machine gun sort of thing. I think that... I just think that is unnecessary. Unless you're in a situation like with... someone who hunts or something like that, which would require, further background checks and
that's the crazy
training
thing,
to get a license.
is that there's a lot of... I think that there are very specific avenues that you can go, and the background checks are more minimal, but people talk about gun show loopholes, and that was pretty pushed and non-existent to my research. Like, I went in and tried to look up how people do gun law research, and there's a video by Steven Crowder, not necessarily the most credible and very much right wing.
I'm not a fan of Steven Crowder,
but he literally goes to multiple different gun shows and he says, "Can I buy this gun? I don't want a background check." And they say, "No, everyone at this gun show, in state or out of state, is going to get a background check." And so with semi-automatic weapons, almost every gun is going to be semi-automatic unless it's a machine gun. And the only thing, like revolvers, the little spinny ones, those exciting ones, I think they have a different name, but they're essentially you pull the trigger once, one bullet comes out. Everything's semi-automatic, and it's just like people talk about if you're because the major concern is the kids in schools, and that is definitely a huge concern. Yeah. Like, nobody wants any kid. It's the continual tragedies. Yeah. But you take hunting weapons like a shotgun, you take that to a school. You're killing just as many people as if you have some sort of assault rifle. Yeah. Not even to mention that assault rifles aren't the primary killers in these sort of situations. It's handguns that, like Josh said, could conceal. I can see stuff being talked about for concealing.
Concealment, I would say, is just because in Canada, the concealment is not allowed. They're prohibited. I think the term is prohibited, and then also automatic weapons are prohibited.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think most, like, you talk about schools, it's a gun-free zone, but that's where these school shootings are happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how we can legitimately, I haven't seen a proposal for something that will actually prevent more school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't have guns, like, the argument is like, these kids shouldn't get their hands on guns, and like that's probably an at-home thing, and their parents are making these guns
But
too
it's
accessible.
not always kids doing the school shootings, right? Like there's a lot of adults.
And
who
so,
are just going
and then
to
on the
kill
other
kids.
side of it, you're like, well, armed teachers, and we shouldn't hold teachers responsible to be
No.
armed or anything like that.
No,
and it
that's
is a
not their
gun-free
training.
zone. But as soon as someone is capable of taking a gun into a school, because you can walk into a school with a gun, a concealed weapon,
It's easy.
and so I don't think that I haven't seen any legitimate answers to fixing this tragic problem.
I think at least greater restrictions on who can buy guns and what guns they can buy, because in the States there's probably some of the least restrictions compared to most countries in the world.
Yeah.
And they have the highest school shooting rates, or
Well, I think
public mass shootings.
Because I look at like countries like Britain or like Great Britain, they have huge penalties for having guns. So I think that it's not necessarily that they're like restricted, but I think it's that there's no real penalty. Well, I mean, I guess there is. Like, what am I saying? Yeah, there's a lot of people in jail for like firearms, having a gun and having like weapons charges, but I think it's just not as.
It's very interesting because what I was hearing is that people talk about gun death statistics and how it is lower where guns are outright banned. But then if you look at just murder statistics, it's similar numbers.
Yep.
And so, like, thinking about like locks on a door, that's to prevent petty crime, right? Like, someone comes up, your door's locked, they walk away. But if somebody actually wants to rob you, they'll just smash your window when you're gone. And so I don't think that these school shooters are petty crimes. If they want to shoot everyone at the school, they are going to do what it takes to get it. And regardless of how restricted guns are, it looks like they would be able to get it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that when I was doing Model UN that was always talked about, and is a very seemingly it's a very simple solution, is just restricting ammunition for guns.
Yeah, making them expensive as heck.
Making them expensive as heck. I mean, or restricting military grade full metal jacket rounds.
That's not school shootings stuff, but it is excessive.
For hunting, they use hollow point ammunition, so it's like it's stuff that like stops. That has a lot of stopping power. But oh man, I had another thought. What was I going to say? Oh, in Britain, like they have a really restrictive firearms laws, but at the same time, like acid attacks are not a thing here, but they are in Britain. Like other forms of violence are still prevalent. It's not like taking guns away.
The thing is that you can't have a mass acid attack in the same way that you can have someone in Las Vegas just sitting on their balcony,
spraying,
shooting people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that there's some common sense to like automatic guns, and I would go so far as like, from what I know, that sounds common sense. But as soon as you get past like the banning of automatic weapons, it's very gray area.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's straightforward and common sense.
Yeah, and then there's also the death by 1,000. Sorry,
it sucks because you've got people who are pushing their agenda for their money with the NRA, and they're not actually looking for solutions. And it's the same thing on both sides. They want something, and then they're going to say whatever it is to get there, and they don't want to sit down and talk about it and be solution oriented.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, did you see Who Is America, the Sacha Baron Cohen show that was on a couple months ago?
I never saw it, but you told me about it enough, so I don't really need to watch it.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's hilarious. But in the I think it's the first or second episode, he dresses up as this, and he's got all this crazy makeup. It's kind of like Borat.
Okay.
But he, puts on this whole disguise, so he looks like he's this like Israeli military guy, and he goes and he's talking to like Republican senators and all these guys who have held very powerful positions, like some of them former and some of them present, and talking about how they have this new plan to train kids to use guns to defend against school shooters, and we're talking like automatic weapons and stuff,
Yeah.
and like putting them and like, you know, painting them to look like fun animals and stuff to make it fun for the kids.
Holy
And they're
moly.
all like, and like people who also represent like other associations similar to the NRA and stuff, and they're all like, wow, this is a really great idea. And he gets some of them to participate in these fake information videos about how to use them. They're like, they have one thing, it's called Puppy Pistol, and it's got a little like stuffed puppy head on top, and it's
my
like,
God.
it's like, pull the trigger on Puppy Pistol to put the bad man to sleep, kids.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the goofiest thing you'll ever see, right?
Wow.
And it's all money based stuff. So
Yeah, it's very interesting, and because, oh my god, yeah, it's tough because, on one hand, you're like, I think it's reminds me of. This is also another controversial figure, but Jordan Peterson is talking about kids.
I'm a huge fan of Jordan Peterson.
Oh,
I'm a huge not fan of Jordan Peterson.
all right, I was at ease, and now I'm not as at ease. But he's talking about kids, about when the kids are getting kidnapped, and you think you don't want your kids to walk alone, so that strangers don't attack them, and like they won't be taken, like abducted.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, if your kids do meet strangers and they're familiar with meeting new people, they are capable of recognizing when
Dangers.
it's actually a danger, and they leave. And there's like this sheltering sort of thing, and so I don't know how that falls into guns. You know, like I don't think that guns for kids makes sense, because kids can be just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, we don't want to shelter everyone, because otherwise I would fear that sort of thing where nobody knows anything and someone gets their hands on something and it's just outright crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot to be discussed on guns and gun education.
But I might add, here's my thing about Jordan Peterson, at least.
Oh, tell me.
Is I think that he makes some interesting points on a more general level.
Yeah.
But then I think where it gets a little dangerous seems a little excessive, but I'll use the term.
Wow.
Somewhat
Acceptable.
dangerous with him is that he starts to, as you dig a little bit deeper, he has a lot more extremist views concerning homosexuality, women, stuff like enforced monogamy. Like he's got a lot of
Okay, that enforced
weird
monogamy.
things.
I gotta interrupt. It's not what you think. He's not looking out here being like, we need to make sure that people are monogamous and police it. It's more like, I think that if people consciously chose to be monogamous societally, that it could be beneficial.
Well, what he said after the what was it in Toronto, where they had the guy who was in a truck and ran down multiple people and killed him.
Yeah.
He was what did they call themselves?
An incel?
And
Incel, yeah.
who was someone who didn't choose to be celibate, but is
Yes.
celibate because no women want to be with them.
Yes.
And he said he essentially blamed it on women for not being monogamous enough.
Yeah, I think that placing blame on something like that is not constructive. And I've talked to my roommate about incels, and he's got a lot of sympathy or empathy. I don't know which word,
Empathy, I think,
but it's
sympathy. Yeah, sympathy or empathy.
it's interesting because I could place myself in their shoes. I think that it's one bad thing turns into another. They don't become socially adept, and it's really, they're depressed and very alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when anyone's alone, they're gonna think crazy things, and it's definitely not justification for them doing it. But the correct thing is not to segregate and say that they're the other and push them away, because these are the kinds of, like, it's literally terrorism. It's a terrorist attack, and you don't get rid of terrorism by sectioning it off and saying it's the other. That just makes it worse.
You're right there. I don't think that we should be making it an us and them situation.
Yeah.
But I really don't think it's fair to place blame on women for not wanting to be with them, especially given some of the other things that Jordan Peterson has said about women.
Probably legitimate that women don't want to be with these guys. They're probably pretty lame dudes.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're having an attitude like that, of like a group, like I think I'm not an incel, but
Confirmed Ciaran not incel.
Yeah. So I mean, when you kind of blanket when people use a blanket term like that and they say, oh well, like women don't want to be with me, like. Well, yeah, probably because you're saying that, like you have this like kind of confrontational stance against it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not when you meet someone for the first time, and you know it's a different gender. It's like, oh, I don't like women. You know, and you meet a woman for the first time, because obviously you're going to be confrontational with them, and they don't want to be with you. In that state, you know.
They're not helping themselves. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, we have an hour, right? I actually have to go.
But
so
ultimately,
oh my gosh.
what I'll say is
Jesus,
that I think he makes a couple interesting points on a lower level, but I think that there's other people who are making those points better than he is, and I think with this guy, I believe at least that it's kind of a slippery slope with him, because I think he ends up saying a lot of terrible things that you can become more agreeable to after listening to his lower level points.
I'm a big advocate. I recommend you read his book.
I haven't read his book, but I'd like to. I haven't read all of his book. I'd like to read it.
I actually just downloaded Maps of Meaning, his first book, yesterday. I've read 12 Rules for Life. Listen to it on Audible. It's my way to consume, because reading is of the past, which makes me feel sad to say. I feel like I should be reading, but listening to that audiobook,
he did it, right? It's his.
The fundamental thing is personal responsibility, and I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No.
Like, I don't think that's a bad thing either.
I think it's very positive.
It's one of his lower level points. But anyways, let's move on. We were still talking about our favorite album.
So Joey, yay.
Josh, you want to say yours?
Yeah, I'll give mine to "You Won't Get What You Want" by Daughters. That's my number one album for 2018, and I just think it's a wild experience to listen to. Like, you hear about people talking about certain albums are just like an experience, like something like Dark Side of the Moon or something like that. It's an experience. This is like what I feel like is really like an experience of an album.
You sit down, put on your headphones, and you're in.
Yeah, it's absolutely chaotic. It's noise rock stuff, but it's just like it's so well put together, and track for track, it is just really, really great. And the way that it confronts and deals with all these like different like mental health issues and stuff, and even personifies them at times, it's wild, and it seems
that's sweet.
It's so interesting, like, and the textures and sounds that are on the album are so just like fascinating, and really ugly sounds, but as it all comes together, it's like it's strangely beautiful as a whole, but it's made up of all these ugly pieces. Like, I always tell people it's like seeing a photo of an oil spill from a bird's eye view from like way above, where it's kind of strangely beautiful to look at, but you know it's made up of all this ugliness, you know? Like, as it comes together as a whole, it's kind of beautiful. But yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane, and I think it's a really, really good album, and I would encourage anybody to just experience it. I think if you vibe with it, it'll get inside your head, and in a good way. But yeah, I'd recommend it.
I am nowhere near as eloquent as that. Mine overall, actually, you know what? Right now, I'll say Sun City EP by Khalid. I really enjoyed that. Did you listen to it?
No, but I have. From what I know about Khalid, it seems like pretty good stuff.
I liked it better than his full length album. Interesting interludes. I thought that it is nice to see a pop artist do something that is like substantial in a way that it's like a piece of music that they split it up into songs for singles or whatever, right? But as like all the way through, it all connects and it all flows, and
it's not just all singles following trends.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Josh. And I will say that it, you know, the way that he kind of sprinkles throughout, like, you know, samples and textures of the song, like song 5 will be sampled in like song 1, and like song 2 will be sampled in like song 4. You know, so it's very interesting the way he does it. And
sort of like almost like bring it back to Pink Floyd again, almost like on Wish You Were Here, where you have that like one riff that kind of like appears in different ways in different songs that kind of makes
very much the same.
flow together. You know?
I think Khalid is a very exciting artist because he's born in the same year as me. This is when I'm we are becoming old enough to go through life experiences with artists, and I think that's incredible.
Wild. Yeah.
Like, he's going to be talking about things that will be relevant. Like, I can say he's living somewhere else through like the same age lens as I am, and that's just crazy.
Because you're always looking up.
Yeah.
For sure. It's weird to get to that age. Even like when I remember seeing the first movie that was based on a true story that I remembered seeing on the news.
Yeah.
What one was that?
I think that was Captain Phillips, about the guys who got kidnapped by those pirates. You know, I was like, I remember when I was watching that on the news. That's so weird, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, song of the week, Josh. Hit me up.
All right, song of the week for me is going to be a song called Danny Nedelko by this British punk band called Idols. They also put out an album this year, which I thought was really good. But the song has a great message, and it's woven together with really good lyrics. Some of my favorite lyrics on that track is like just leading up to the chorus. It goes, what does it say? It says, fear leads to anger leads to pain leads to something.
Really
that was so eloquent.
It was
Josh.
something like
wow.
It says I'm just gonna
we'll
look it up.
We'll get back to it. So my track, Joseph William Arundel's track of the week, song from 2017. It was it's called I'm Keeping It Mainstream, Lens by Frank Ocean. I listened to it recently and it brought a tear to my eye.
Lens, really?
Yeah, I love that track. I listened to it all summer of, I guess, 2017, and I was sitting there thinking, like, this is the nostalgia and the feeling that I get from this song right now is something I can't share. Like, no one else will experience this with me.
That's heavy.
And but it's a good feeling, and it's I was impressed by how intensely I was affected by it.
Wow.
And I just discovered it right now, and so that's my song of the week.
Wow. I had mine is It's All Right by Horse Beach. This kind of alternative psych kind of like
Look at
dream
you getting
pop?
into psych. Wow.
Dream pop kind of synth pop, I guess. The album is called it just looks, what is that? 2 eyes or 2 ones?
Could be 2 ones, 2
Two?
eyes.
I think it's just called 2. That's a Roman
two.
numeral.
A sideways equal sign.
I don't know.
You know
it's
how
2 lines.
It's a Roman numeral. It's called 2.
2.
And I was actually going through Shazam. You know that app?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through my Shazam, and I could not tell you. What?
Just absolutely stunned.
Just stunned.
Yo, I was going through my. I was
I was
going
looking
through
my Shazam and just stunned face. Like,
yeah.
I like that.
It was quite shocking. It was quite shocking. I go through it and I find this song, and I could not tell you for the life of me where I actually Shazammed it. It says the date on it when I Shazammed it. I guess so. I don't know. I don't remember it. I was listening to it. I'm like, oh, well, if I Shazammed it, like if I went through the trouble of Shazamming, using it, I'm like listening to it. I'm like, wow, like vibing with it. And I was just so loosey, especially when we were skiing. I was listening to it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, just loving life when I was skiing to that.
Little trip.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So that's my song of the week.
But I did find the lyrics. My favorite line from this song, I think it's a very good line. It goes, fear leads to panic, panic leads to pain, pain leads to anger, anger leads to hate. Which I think is a fresh line.
It's like reminds me of Yoda in the first Star Wars.
Yeah. It's basically like if Yoda wrote a punk song.
Yeah.
But with a little, with his wit in there too, you know?
That's a very Yoda-like
That's what
wit.
this song is. But it's great. It's a driving. It's got some classic punk elements, some new stuff mixed in there, so it's always a little bit fresh. And it's just a jam. It's an absolute jam with a really positive message. It comes from an album called Joy as an Act of Resistance, which is very, very relevant to the times. So I love it.
Watched a podcast about a guy that went to jail, and his act of resistance was to be happy.
There it is.
Nick Yaris?
It was on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Nick Yaris. The guy who was on Death Row for 22 years?
Yes, that's the guy.
Dude, that is
Joe
a
Rogan, our
story.
competitor?
Oh yeah, our competitor.
Sorry,
Yeah,
to
we're,
name
co-
drop
we're,
like
we're
that.
coming for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Dude, his story is intense. Anyone who's listening to this right now, turn it right off and listen to Joe Rogan interview Nick Yars.
Yeah. It's him talking about like speech impediments and just training himself through it. That's something that is absolutely miraculous.
I was listening to it on the drive to school.
Yeah.
And I was in shock listening to
Yeah.
this guy's story. I was wrapped. I couldn't think. I was in class and I couldn't think. I was like,
Just only him, yeah. That was what encompassed my conversations for the
know,
next
it's
2 days after listening to that. I was like, I
talking
heard this
about him?
news. I heard
Yeah.
this news.
100%. We got it. I'll even like throw a link in to like Joe Rogan's podcast. Like listen to it. Probably one of the best podcasts I've listened to.
Aside from the Ciaran and Josh.
Yes. Sorry, I said one of the best. Yeah, not the best.
On the topic of turning this off right now, I think we're gonna wrap this up. Mm-hmm. What a fresh episode, guys. We got more political than ever on here.
Yeah, that was really intense. Thank you for coming on,
Yeah,
Joey.
thank you for having me, Josh.
Very controversial.
Thank you for having me, Ciaran.
Oh, thank you, Joey. It's been a fresh time. I've been Josh McKenna.
Joseph
I hope so.
William Arundel.
Ciaran Sanders.
Thank you for listening.
Adios, amigos.